Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the Wildflower Wool's YouTube channel. I'm Louise from Wildflower Wool. It's Monday, which means it is cast on day. It's been voting day all day in all the places here on YouTube, Wildflower Wool's Facebook page, Wildflower Wool's Instagram stories, and in the feed post. So you can go, as always, you can vote as many places as you want. If you are super passionate for one of the projects, you can vote in all places. Hi, Liz. So welcome, everybody. Hope everybody's had a great Monday. We're going to chat about the vote, what the winning pattern is. Last week's project, we'll talk like a little teeny weeny little bit about that. And I have a finish. I have a surprise. And I have some maybe not so good news. So we'll see. It depends which way you think about it. So let's chat about the voting. So this morning I went on to Ravelry and I thought, okay, I'm just gonna look again in the what do they call it? What's trending, what's hot now. The patterns that have had the most views in the last 24 hours get kind of categorized in the top 10. So I took a little peek there, scrolled through. There was some really nice sweaters. And again, I was like this close to picking a sweater. But I thought, no, not a sweater, not a sweater. And then I also came about this close to picking this huge monstrous shawl that was absolutely gorgeous, but it would have taken me all year to finish it. And I was like, not this week, not this week, but maybe another week. So what I went for was two more attainable projects to be a finish. So there was the Sophie hood and the tidal wave shawl. So let me show you pictures. Sorry guys, I haven't tried to see if I can share I could probably, no, I'm not going to try it tonight. We're going to go old school. I'm going to show you a picture on my phone. So there you go. There's the Sophie hood. So I think this was the left. If you were voting left, right, Sophie hood was the left. So let's just see a little bit of info about the Sophie hood. The designer is Petite Knit. And of course, there's the Sophie scarf. There's the shawl. And I did do the Sophie scarf, but I made it a little bit bigger. So it's kind of between the scarf and the shawl, and it was lovely to knit. So the hood. So the hood, it came out in December. So it's been out for a couple of months. It's all garter stitch. It is a paid for pattern. The yarn weight is an Aran weight. Gauge is 17 stitches over 4 inches. Needle size suggested is a 5 millimeter. And yardage is saying 400 to 660 meters. It does come in 3 sizes, a small, medium, and large. It is in 12 languages. Holy moly. How do you... Okay. Not that I think we need all the languages, but there's like English, Czech, Danish, Dutch, Finnish, French, German, Italian, Norwegian, Polish, Spanish, Swedish. Huh. That's super cool. What else does it tell us? Sophie hood is worked in one piece from tip to tip. It's worked flat, back and forth, garter stitch with built-in I-cord edging, which I absolutely love. I think I could be very tempted to put an I-cord edge on like everything I knit from here on out. I love it. It's really nice. The hood is shaped using increases and decreases. And its back is sewn together at the end using mattress stitch along the back of the neck. Small, medium, large. And then it gives you lots. The hood depth is 20, no, like, so I'll say 9.5 inches for all 3 sizes. Hood to tip is 40 inches, 50 inches, or 60 inches. So like there's 10-inch difference between all 3 sizes. That's fairly significant. Anyway, it gives you lots of yarn suggestions. Difficulty is 3 out of 5. Interesting. There's some video guides can be found here. Blah, blah, blah. Lots of info on this. There is 2,494 projects in Ravelry. So it has been a favorite. No wonder it's in the trending section. So there it is. It just looks soft and cozy, squishy, just like garter stitches. So there was that one. That was the one option. The other option was this really pretty shawl. Tidal Wave, designer is Lisa Much, who is a Canadian designer. So there's one picture. Not there we go. I like this picture better. I think this is the one I used. So isn't that fun? I like that. So I think it says somewhere in here it's an asymmetrical crescent shape. This pattern, you guys, is free. So did I show you that tidal wave? If you thought you liked it, want to go put it into your Ravelry library. And what does it say? So it's been out since August of 2022, so a couple of years. It does use fingering weight yarn. Suggested size needle is a 5 millimeter, 600 yards, 549 meters. So, okay, one size. Let's see, garter stitch, stripes, and a ripple here and there. This asymmetrical crescent shawl is made even more luxurious with BFL silk and cashmere yarn. So NBK, so Lisa Much is also, you can look her up as Northbound Knitting, and she also has her own yarn. So this is using Northbound Knitting's BFL silk cashmere fingering. So you can get the pattern and you can also order some gorgeous yarn to knit it with if you don't have something already in your stash. And it is 18 inches at the longest so length. So I'm thinking that's so 18 inches. So that's neck to mid back, 18 inches, and width fingertip to fingertip, 68 inches. And then she gives you all the abbreviations. There's knit fronts and back, make ones, left and right. There is wrap and turns in there, which makes total sense when you look at that. Short rows. So anyway, so those were the two options, both similar but different, both scarf-ish projects. One a hood, one a shawl. So, yes, I think they're both gorgeous, right? Yeah, so I was leaving the voting up to you all for what I could cast on for this week. So this week is the 12th cast on of the year. So we are 8 weeks in. I'm guessing for January, for February. Yeah, February is a short month, so we have to be about 8 weeks. And it is cast on number 12. Um, it was close. It was close, you guys. I was adding up the votes here just a few minutes ago, and I'm like, I had no idea until I got to the end because I was counting on Instagram, and one would be 3 votes ahead, and then YouTube was, it was like another 4 votes ahead for this one. And I was like, man, this is super, super close. So there was a total of 140 votes today, and the winning project won with 51% of the votes. So it was pretty much split down the middle between the hood and the gorgeous shawl. But in the end, one project snuck out ahead. And there really wasn't like there was a couple people who had said, oh, I think Renee had said she had just grabbed the tidal wave pattern. So she was voting for that one. There was a couple of people had said they were really interested to see how the hood knit up, so they were voting for that one. And who was it? Who sent me a message? And who was that now? Caroline. Yes, Caroline. Caroline was a student in one of my classes, I do believe at Little Red Mitten at one time. And, anyway, she said she is on her 2nd Sophie hood, so she was voting for the Sophie hood. Uh, but there was no real comments about, like, which one would be better, like, is one, like, the hood a more winter project? Is the shawl, like, more of a spring project? There was no thoughts about one would be faster than the other? I don't know, they may be both the same, about the same. So, it was excited. Oh, hi, Jude. Jude, I realized I was going to vote, but got sidetracked. Until podcast. Okay, Jude, what would you have voted for? Would you have voted for the hood or the shawl? Okay, I'm gonna take a peek here in the comments and see who all is here, and then I will tell you what the winning project is. So there's Liz and there's Nikki. Hi, Louise. Um, and Liz. Hi, Patty. Hi, Sally and Carol. Jocelyn. Oh, Jocelyn, you forgot to vote. Quick, tell me which one you would have voted for. I'm guessing Jocelyn would have voted for the hood. Hi, Diane and Cindy. Diane Z, Diane T. Hello, Kim and Susie. How do you determine the correct size for a hood? That is a really good question. Um, would you go by height? Because it said the hood depth was the same for all sizes. And the length was 10 inches difference. So what that would end up being like 5 inches on either side. So would you go by your height? If you were really, really tall, would you do it longer? I'm shorter, so if I did the really long one, well, I don't know. Is it really gonna hang down? What does the picture look like? Hold on, you guys. I have to send a quick text here because my son obviously has forgotten it's Monday night. It's only been like 5 years of Monday nights, and he's obviously forgotten. Um, okay, let me go back to the picture. Let me find Ravelry on here again. I have to figure out how to share my screen. I actually just have to try and do it. I'm just too nervous. You guys know me and my tech problems, and as soon as I start, like, pushing buttons, I don't even know if I can share it from here. That's a Zoom thing, isn't it? That's not a YouTube thing. Yeah, I don't think I can. Okay, anyways, let's go back here to my phone, my trusty phone. I can show you a picture and not potentially, um so that's like the ends are like wrapped around the neck and hanging down the back. Because like how okay, there's the back picture. So again, would that depend if how tall you are? Oh, here's a red one. Maybe some of these pictures are just different colors. There's kind of a picture of the hood. I mean, that kind of looks like a one size fits all kind of hood, doesn't it? Ooh, there's another one. It just like it's like simple but wearable and cozy. Now, I did see something about that might be the small size. Um, just give me 1 second, you guys. Um, okay. Sorry. Oh, yeah, so I don't know. I don't think I would want the tails much longer than that. And there it is. See, I'm thinking maybe I'm pretty sure if I look back here, let me take a peek down here again and see. Materials, difficulty. Okay, so the red hoodie is size small. The burgundy one is the medium, and the blue must be large? It doesn't say, but maybe the blue is large? I don't know. Anyways, um, anyways, okay, let me see, what else is there? We got sidetracked. I haven't even told you which one's won. I might not even need to worry about the sizing for the hood this week. Jocelyn said I would have voted the shawl, really? See, and I would have thought you would have went hood. And Jude also says probably the shawl because I'm familiar with the pattern and it's on my would like to cast on list. Ah, okay, interesting, interesting. Okay, Liz says, I wonder if the size has more to do, yes, with the length and the hood size. So we're thinking the same thing. Hi, Mary. Okay, well, all right. Then let me tell you which one has won by only 51% of the vote. So it was really, really close. The project that I am going to cast on this week is, insert your drum roll. It is the Sophie hood. It is the hood. So it snuck in a couple of extra votes. It was close all across the board because sometimes, as we know, Instagram and Facebook can be voting for different projects, but this time, this today, everybody was kind of all across the board was thinking Sophie really what it with there's just one or two more people voting for it everywhere. Um Yeah, it's interesting. I'm kind of just looking at this picture and that how the shape of the hood is. Looks kind of fun, doesn't it? And then the I-cord edging. Oh no, Kim says I'm so sad. And Diane Z is saying, yay. I know. Some weeks there's like a couple of weeks ago, the projects were like really one-sided. So I was like, okay, it's like, 80% of the people are going to be happy. But tonight, it's, like, right down the middle. Half are gonna be happy and half are gonna be sad. Sorry, Kim. But the good news is, Kim, the shawl pattern is available as a free pattern. So you guys can go grab it and put it in your own library and knit it up for yourselves because I think I'm gonna go put it into my library and keep, um and I may come back at some point and go through all of the patterns that didn't win and take a couple of the ones that didn't get chosen and put those 2 together and then see. So maybe the shawl will come back again, paired up with something else. Oh, Kim, you just printed it. Perfect. That's great. Hi, Pravina. So it is the Sophie hood. I'm really excited because I did love doing the Sophie scarf. It was it was really just a fun, mindless knit, and I'm seeming to like those kind of knits as of late. So I think the hood is going to fit well into that and be something really wearable that hopefully I'll be able to wear maybe just right at the end of winter because you guys, I am already counting down, almost starting to count down till spring. March is here this weekend. First couple, you guys all know, and I know Jocelyn's gonna be rolling her eyes at me because I say this, talk about this every year at this time, that it's almost spring. The first couple of weeks of March are gonna be winter, and then after that, I'm like, nope, spring. Spring, spring, spring. Spring is in the air. I'm thinking gardening. I'm like getting the itch to go out into my garden, but it is covered under like 4 feet of snow right now, so that's not gonna happen anytime soon. but soon. Okay, so what shall I show you next? I know what I'm going to show you next because I'm curious about this. I have a finish. I have a finish. The very first project of February that I cast on was the brioche cowl, and I finished it this weekend. So I'm super excited. You guys were voting. I think you guys voted for the colors. There was the 2 shades of blue, which ended up winning, and I think the other colors, the option was a gray and a darker green, and the blues won out. So I don't know what the color names. This is Cascade 220. Oh, and I should also say the hood, the Sophie hood, I have no idea what yarn I'm gonna knit that. Oh, actually, I see something in my stash. It's chartreuse. Wouldn't that be bright? Okay, I may do that. I may pull that out and see if that would work. It's probably not the right weight. No, okay, maybe not. Anyways, we'll figure out the yarn um at the end. But Cascade 220 for the brioche cowl. I went on the website. Both of these yarns came from the Thoughtful Artisan in Woodstock. And I know on her website there's color names. But do you think I could figure out which one was which? I was scrolling through all the colors and clicking. I think I found this one, but I can't remember what it was now. I could not find this. This is basically navy, but I know that wasn't the color. It might have been indigo. I wonder if it was indigo. And this is kind of a gray blue. I think it looks a little more gray that's maybe showing in the screen. But anyways, light blue, dark blue. Really good contrast. I just did my brioche pattern that I use for teaching, and I just did it plain. My teaching copy does look like it's cabled because there's increases and decreases, so the lines are going in and out, in and out, in and out. I didn't do that. I just wanted something that was Netflix binge watching knitting material. So I just did it plain brioche. And it was so much fun. Now, I will say I did kind of make there's 2 little oopsies in here that I don't even care about, but I'm just gonna tell you actually, there's a couple things. Can I see them? And I think one was just a loose stitch, but it really did maybe here. There was something that was like nope, not there. I don't know. See, I'm not even going to be able to find it now. There was one that was a loose stitch, and it did, as I was knitting and coming around to it, I could tell, we'll just pretend, I don't know, came around and in the knit column, it just looked larger and looser, and it just kind of bugged me, and it felt thinner. It felt like it was only one thickness. But yeah, somehow I just knit a looser stitch. But there was one that was right at my beginning and ending, and so when I was weaving in the end, I just kinda went around it and pulled it up tight, and it pulled it closed, and now I can't even find it. And there was one spot that I dropped a stitch. So I had to unknit about 4 stitches, and then I had to drop down 3 rows and pick up my stitches, which I was able to do successfully, but it was again, it was just a little bit looser when I picked it up. But you know what? Oh, yeah, maybe right here. I was gonna be like, I can't even tell. I mean, I had to if you have to look this hard, you're never gonna notice it when you're wearing it, right? But look, here, I'll show you. I don't think Yeah, see, oh, no, this might be the loose stitch. So you can see it, like, clear as day right there. But it's not a drop stitch, it is just, look at that, a loose stitch. And when I tighten it up on the right side, it's fine. So, but you know what? Better done than perfect, right? And there was a spot very similar to that where, like, it looked like it was like the brioche stitch wasn't there, but that one, I don't know. I'm not gonna worry about it. Anyways, it's fine. There was one that I did drop down, and I did pick up, scooping the stitch underneath its yarn over, and I did bring it up, and so, yeah, it's somewhere in here. If I was to look super, super close, I would find a spot like that that was just a little loose, but in the end, you're not gonna notice it at all. And, Carol, looks like a design feature. Exactly. Exactly. And you know what? Once you have it on, you're not gonna notice it, and you're just gonna put it on and wear it and love it, and it'll be fine. Now, the other thing that I did, I was playing around with when you get to the end of the round, so the end of the round in brioche, when you're knitting in the round, two color in the round brioche, the end stitch, every other round you're going to have a yarn over that you have to make sure stays on and doesn't accidentally fall off when you're switching colors. So I was playing around a little bit on how I wanted to change my colors. And look, you can see, and again, I'm not gonna worry about this because I'm just gonna make sure this is at the back, my hair is gonna be under it, my coat will be over top of it, and nobody's going to know. But it was just a good learning, and I will probably use this as a, sample in my next brioche class. But look at how I'm, like, a little embarrassed to show you this, but I will because it's a good learning. Look at the top part of this. So, right, obviously, you can see that clear as day where, oh my gosh, this is all backwards when I'm looking in the screen, you guys. Right there. So there I was playing around, crossing my yarns every other row, depending if I was ending on a brioche knit or purl, crossing them in the front or crossing them in the back. And it just made a mess. So don't do that. So for the last half of the project, I just crossed them all in the front. And there is my beginning and end of the round. You can definitely tell, but at least it's neat. But when you look at it with everything else, it does just kind of, it's right there. Can't really tell when you're looking at the other columns, can you? So there you go. Crash your yarns in the front. And at least for me, it makes a world of difference. So that is just a good, it's always like if you're teaching, you can say it, but it doesn't make such an impact. But when you look at it, people will remember that, right? They'll be like, oh, yeah, that was messy. This one looked way better. So um, we will just call this a teaching moment. But you guys, so I did it a little bit longer. It is, what did I do? A 4.5 millimeter needle, and it is about 22 inches around. And then I usually just do it 9 inches, but this one I did 10 inches so I could fold it over a little bit. And it turned out perfect. Brioche is so cozy. Like I could just wear it like this, and this would be perfect, right? So whether it's 9 inches, 10 inches, it doesn't really matter. Like you could tuck it down like this. Oh, that actually looks kind of fun, right? You can pull it up at the back. If it's snowing and blowing, you can pull it up. I wanted to knit it a little bit longer so I could do this and play with get my hair all stuck in it. Okay, but I wanted to do this. I wanted to be able to just see the opposite colors because it's kind of the fun part about doing something that is reversible if you can wear it and see both the colors. So anyways, that is that. So I don't know. Sometimes I like it. I can't decide how I really like it. If I just like to do this, maybe I don't want to see both sides. I like this color side the best anyways. See? And if this was my coat, I could do this and it would be perfect. So I'm super, super happy with this. And I would definitely make more of these. Basically the same size. I would just try not to have loose stitches. I don't know how that happened. And then just fix up my beginning ending of the round. Anyways, so that is that. So that is a finish. I'm like really, really happy. Another finish. I think I checked it off on the board. So I have this finish. I have my 2-week sweater finish. So I think I'm up to 5 finishes. I've got had 11 casts on, counting last week's 11, and I have 5 finishes. I'm happy with those odds. Not quite 50-50, but good enough for me. Um, okay, what is this Liz said? I heard a podcaster say if they got that close to your work, you could punch them if they pointed something out. Well, exactly. Because knitters, we are always too picky. Our guild meeting was doing entrelac. That's what I started the entrelac dishcloth for. Was that last weekend? And I didn't teach that. My friend Amanda was teaching the entrelac class. So I could just sit back and knit. And it just gave me like there was so many people were asking such great questions about different ways of doing things and tension issues and all kinds of things. But it also made me realize it's like we set like almost an impossible standard for ourselves when we're learning, right? We're like, why does the edge stitch look wonky? Why is my gauge look a little different? My knit, my purl, my forward, my backward knitting, and it's like just, yeah, I think we just need to just knit it. Uh-oh. Okay, hopefully nothing's come off. I might as well just show you this while I mentioned it. I did not do anything more on this, but this hopefully will be a finish soon. But this is the entrelac, right? And I picked a needle size that was too big. It's dishcloth yarn. It's a worsted weight. I should have went with a 4.5, but you know what? I grabbed 5s because that's what I had. And so yes, my gauge is a little bit too loose, but I don't care. There's a hole right there because when you're doing entrelac, can you see that? Hardly, but it's there. Oh, there you can see it. But you know what? You figure that out as you go. Okay, I'm going to drop everything here. Um, picking up your stitches. And that's why you do something that you don't really care about. See? Right there. Right there. There's a hole there, but so what? It will work just fine. And that's just one of those things you just gotta practice about where you're gonna pick up that last stitch, how close to the corner, and you get to know, right? There's like you pick up here, you get a hole, you pick up over here, you don't get a hole. Then you know for your next row, right? So, yeah. So, I think that needs to be our motto, right? Just knit it, get it done, wear it, enjoy it. If there's a little oopsie in it, you'll get better for the next project, right? Okay. Oh, Mary says, I never critique somebody else's work. Absolutely not. I mean, just the fact that they attempted it, they finished it. Yeah. So what if there's a little mistake in it? They attempted it. Yeah, it's all good. All good. Um, oh, I love it, Louise. Thanks, Diane. A homemade yeah, you could see, you could add a homemade tag. Yes, if it's something yeah, I mean, I will never find it. When I was trying to find it, I couldn't find it. So, obviously, it's not sticking out. Yeah. So, yeah. Nope, I'm not even gonna I'm not like, I'm really not worrying about it at all. And the only reason I'm even mentioning it is just that, yeah, I don't think you guys should worry about it either. If it's gonna be a gift, depending on who it is, right? If it's my mom, my daughter, I don't know. If there's a little mistake, yeah, I could probably still give it to them, right? But yeah, if you're giving it as a gift, I could see where you would not want to have any of those little wonky stitches. You would want to take it back and fix it. But you know what? If it's for you, just carry on. Anyways, enough on that topic. So a finish, another finish. Okay. Seriously, every time I pick it up and hold it to the camera, though, I always have that beginning of the round spot showing. Like, I don't want to see that. I want to see this. Anyways, this is lovely. Cascade 220 is a super great yarn. Oh, you know what I was going to show you though? Yeah, it's soft. It was lovely to knit with. It's 100% wool, but I don't find it itchy at all. For me, wearing it as a cowl is absolutely lovely. It's non-superwash. So, 2 balls. Can you guys tell in the camera that the navy is a little bit smaller? So these should have been the exact same size ball, but just the way I knit it, the navy was always the brioche purl rounds. So, and we know purl stitches use a little bit more yarn than knit stitches do. And that's what it looks like. Like there's a visible difference that this has used up more yarn, which I thought was interesting. I have my scale here. So just to me, because sometimes you hand wind yarn, one is a little tighter than another. I actually want to weigh them to just to see. I'm curious. So we'll go with the one that's actually bigger. Oh, I've got 54 grams of it left. So half a ball. I used half a ball. 54 grams. Let's see what's left in this. Oh, 44. 10 grams difference between knitting and purling. Huh. Okay. So that means you can't just use, well, if you wanted to maybe made it not quite so tall, you could get away with 250-gram balls. But okay, there you go. Fun fact. Purling definitely uses more yarn. I don't think I've ever weighed that. I've just known it, but I just never really, I don't know, maybe it's because I always knit from the center. So, your skein just gets squishy in the center, but you never really see it side by side like this. Anyways, fun fact. So there you go. If you've got one skein that's smaller than the other, make it the knit color. Okay. Hey Sam. What? I am so hard on myself with your knitting. Stop it. That's my motto for tonight. Don't anybody be hard on your knitting. Just be super proud of anything that you have accomplished. Okay. All right. On that note, remind me to take my own words of advice here and let's talk about sock madness. Hey, okay. Sock madness. Where is my sock? I've got some other stuff in this bag. I've got this mitten bag that has kind of been catching all my projects. Oh my gosh, do I have it here? Yes, I do. I already pulled it out. Oh, what's going on here? Okay, that didn't work, did it? Okay. Sorry. Oh my goodness. I'm probably just making it worse. Okay, we're just gonna leave it. Sock madness sock. Well, let me just show it to you. Guys, I don't think I'm gonna be qualifying this year. Ay, ay, ay. but I've got it here. It looks super small, but I'm hoping it's got some stretch in there. Um, Diane, um, Liz, I didn't expect that much difference. I know in the difference, like 10 grams. I did not either. I would have thought, what, a gram or 2? But 10? Yeah, I'm really surprised too. That's a big difference. Never thought it would be that much difference. I know, Nikki, right? Crazy. Okay, so hi, Linda. I don't do sock madness. I do oh, I do sock sadness. Okay, we don't want that. Um, so anyways, life happened this week and weekend, you guys. You might have heard I talked a little bit, I think, with Cheryl on Saturday on the Fiber Friends podcast that my work week last week, I thought I was going to end up with a little extra knitting time, and I ended up with way less. And I knew going into Sock Madness this year, my plan was to have taken off a couple of days, a day here, a day this week, a day next week, a day next week. And just with everything that was going on at work, and I could not do that. So then I thought, I'll be able to catch up on the weekend. Yeah, no, no. Stuff happened. Stuff happened that, anyways. So I'm like, oh, so I'm trying not to be disappointed that, yeah, there's like no way I will get this pair done before Sunday, I don't think. Um, But anyways, the toe was fun to knit. I've got the leg done. There's gusset increases here, and I'm just have started doing the short row heel. So the new plan for Sock Madness is to see how much of this I can get done before the cutoff Sunday morning and see if I can carry on as a cheerleader, which will mean that I will be able to get the patterns when they come out with each round. And then I'll be able to show them to you guys. We can still chat about them and I can still cast them on because I did mention that I don't know, one of the last times I was chatting with you guys that even that once, because I mean, like, really, I was only gonna go to, like, I wanted to make it to round 2. I'm not gonna make it to round 1 this year, you guys, but that's okay. Um, and then I did wanna keep going so that we could keep the Sock Madness excitement going until it ends, like, in what, like, June or July? Like, it goes quite a while it goes into the summer. And, so if I get to make it as a cheerleader, we can still do that. So and that's the way it goes sometimes, right? You just can only do what you can do, right? And sometimes life gets in the way, but then that just means that there'll be more time for other things. So everything works out how it's supposed to work out. So I'm still going to keep plugging away and I still want to knit them because you get to cut them, you guys, because both socks are knit together and then you cut. Like, who doesn't want to do that? So I'm just going to keep going. We'll see. Hopefully, I need to have at least one sock done to apply for cheerleader status. So I am going to see if I can make it that far. Fingers crossed. And Linda says they never fit. I know. And that's why I wasn't worried because you just have to have so many rounds done. And I've got the right rounds. It's just, I don't know. For some reason, these socks, just the yarn is really thin, but it's knitting really, really tight. So, and for the leg, there's cables, and they did suggest going up. Well, actually, should in all fairness, the designer might have said, think about going up a needle size because, well, she said because of the ribbing on the foot and then the cables on the leg. But I thought ribbing is stretchy. I shouldn't have to go like a bigger size for the ribbing. So I didn't. Maybe I should have. But I was gonna go and I am gonna go up a needle size for the cabling on the leg. I mean, I don't know. Do I even need to worry? Yeah, I will, because, I mean, they're not gonna fit anyways, so do I need to worry about that? But maybe I'll just make them a little bit easier to knit. Anyways, so sock madness. There's half of a sock. So, I mean, I guess that's still good progress, right? So we'll see. I will report back next Monday, see if I still make it in as a cheerleader. Fingers crossed. So, we're not totally out yet. So, we will see. Oh, Susanna, I will send you the Kool-Aid for Dying Louise. Okay. Sure, Diana. Yes, absolutely. Sure. Jude says cheerleader can be a whole heap of fun and no pressure. Exactly. See? Sometimes things work out the way they're supposed to, right? Yeah. So, and the whole idea is that it's fun. And maybe my fun is going to be a little shorter lived than I was hoping this year, but you know what? There is always next year. And maybe next year things will work out differently and I will be able to I will actually book some time off work before everything gets super busy. I just need to maybe be a little bit more on the ball. Samantha has sent me a picture. Oh my goodness. Okay, hold on. Let me see, Sam. Um, oh, another dishcloth. Lovely. There we go, Sam. Another work in progress. Love it. Love it. Liz, well, shoot, I got so busy watching chat, I forgot to do my increases. Ripping back. Oh no, Liz. Liz, is this in a sock? Nikki, I knit extra rows because you're allowed. Yes, you can make them longer. You just can't make them smaller, right? Because yeah, if you want to do extra, for sure. So Nikki, yes. So Nikki and Karen and Jen. There's somebody else. There's somebody else. Who else is doing sock madness? How are you all doing? Have you got yours done? I know I'm sure like they should not take super, super long to knit. So Nikki, did you get yours finished? Okay. The cables are pretty ribby and stuff, but okay, you did go up in needle size. Jen. Jen, of course you did. Jen finished and qualified last Thursday. Yay. That's awesome. Good for you, Jen. I'm excited. I will be your personal cheerleader. How's that? Yay. Good, good. So, Nikki, how close are you? Nikki, oh, with everything that happened this last week, I have not finished, so we will see where I end up. Yep. So, um, yeah. And it's supposed to be fun, right? So you can't stress about it, right? It is what it is. You get through, you don't. There's like it's not like our knitting is going to come to an end if we don't carry on with sock madness, right? So, yeah, you just do what you can do. So, yay. Jen, well, I'm sure Karen always does really well too. So I haven't heard from her. So, but I'm sure she is probably qualified as well. So maybe Jen and Karen may be the Fiber Friends knitting representatives this year. Okay, but I do have some good news. So the sock madness at the beginning, if you caught it, what did I say? I said I had finished, I had good news, and bad news, or I had a surprise and bad news. So the sort of bad news is the sock madness. Yeah, not gonna not pro will not be going forward. I am sure of that. So, but that's okay. So that is, I mean, if that is the worst news that I have this week, I don't have too much to complain about. But I do have something really exciting to show you guys. Are you ready? So I showed you Saturday when I was chatting with Cheryl, or it could have been Friday night. Been doing a lot of chatting on the internet lately. That I had gone back to doing some crocheted squares because I am way behind on the day to day, like the daily videos, learning the new squares every day. Oh, I'm like halfway through January. Like I'm a month behind or more now, but that's okay. I'm still going to catch up at some point. But I thought, okay, now my goal is to have 365 squares. And I guess that was always the goal, 365 squares, because I had said if there was one that I didn't like or one I didn't know how to do, I would skip it and I would do a plain granny square or something that I liked or I knew how to do. And that is what I have decided, that I just need to go back and do day one square because I can do it. So I had done a couple. So there's one, there's another one. I was just using up some leftover yarn. There is another one. Here is another one. And there is one more. Look at you guys. So what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 crocheted squares this week. Thanks, Susie. I have to say, I am thrilled because I can do this now. I had to last Thursday when I was with Carol and Sam at our knitting group. So I guess I've done 5 since Thursday. Um, I was sitting there with the video, day 1 square, play stop, play stop, play stop, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, chain, da 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 da, da. Writing out rounds 1 and round 2 and did I do round 3? Anyways, I think by the time I had started to write it out because I was like, I need to know what I'm doing. And I need to be able to have it written out so I can see a pattern and not have to be watching videos everywhere I go every time I want to crochet a square. So now I wrote it out and I used it for a couple of squares. And these last ones, I am very happy to say I was able to do without even looking at my pattern. I did this and it's like, I dare say perfect. Not that it needs to be perfect, but if I can make something perfect every once in a while, I will take that as a win too. And I think it is. Like, I think it truly is. Now I will say, and don't, you guys will laugh at me, but some of these ones here, the center is a different color, but there's 3 rounds. There's the center, then there's round 2 and round 3. All of the squares I've been doing, I have changed colors every round. So even when I was doing the first 1 or 2 that I was doing where rounds 2 and 3 were the same, I was like, I don't know how to keep going if I use the same color. I only knew how to end it, cut it, and rejoin. So for 1 or 2 of these squares, the first time I was doing all the same color, I actually cut and rejoined the same color because it was the only way I knew how to figure it out. But I think on the last one that I did, I did something. I don't know if it's right, but I did not cut it. I just finished. What did I do? I don't know. I did something that seemed to work. I finished it, so I like slip stitched it closed. And then did I just chain up 3 and then just started my doubles again? I don't know. I did something and it seemed to work okay. So I don't know if I did it right, but I thought as I was doing these, I thought, okay, there's my next learning piece is I need to know how do you go with all one color and how do you carry on? So I was excited to know what my next thing I needed to learn was, and I kind of figured it out, and it doesn't look lumpy and bumpy or wonky, so I'm thinking maybe I figured it out okay. Anyways, I am like so happy with these simple garter stitch. No, no, no. See, you can't take the knitter out of the crocheter. Is that what I want to say? So these simple granny stitch squares. And I mean, Oh, I know. I'm so happy they're not fancy in 3D, but it is crochet and I can do it and I can figure it out. And then I was doing one and I started doing my three doubles and all of a sudden I looked at it, I'm like, well, that's wonky. And realized I had like put the hook in the wrong hole. So I like pulled it all out, started again. So I'm like, I am getting this, you guys. I cannot wait. I can like only imagine what I'm going to be sitting here saying in December, recapping my whole year-long crochet adventure, and you guys are going to have to sit through it all. Recapping my wonky, wonky squares, and then some of the amazing ones that I'm going to be doing by the time December comes. But basic granny square, I love it, actually. They're really, really fun, and the chunky yarn and only doing 3 rounds gives me a 5-inch square, and they're so quick. It's really, really fun. I'm really, really glad that, um, that we're doing this. So our next crochet Zoom call, for those of you that are in our little, crochet along group, Saturday, March the 8th. I think it's 1 o'clock my time, 12 o'clock Jocelyn's Manitoba time. So we'll do, yeah, an hour, hour and a half kind of thing, check in with everybody and see where everybody is. So yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. Have I done anything else? Oh my gosh, you guys. Last week's project was the slip stitch hat. Carved snow, I think it was. Remember, it was the slip stitch, and then it had, like, this little triangle slip stitch pattern right at the front, and, I didn't have the yarn because you guys were voting between 2 different patterns, and the slip stitch versus the what was it? Was it brioche? No, it was cables. Slip stitch or cables. The slip stitch one, I found yarn. I found a skein of yarn that I had dyed, but you know what, guys? I didn't even get it cast on, but it's here. It wasn't a skein, and I dyed it, so I really like this. It's nice and bright. It's kinda tonally a little bit, not it always is somewhat because I've never ever dyed anything that's been 100% even dyed, and that's exactly what I want. I want it to be kind of tonal. So there's this. So it is a little bit um bu- bu- bum, sorry, I'm reading and trying to talk at the same time. Um so it's nice and bright. It's like neon green. So I've got needles, but when I should have been casting this on, I was attempting to work on my Sock Madness sock. So this will get cast on probably this week, but it will there'll be some progress with it. So yeah, I just thought I literally went down to the basement when I was looking for yarn for that hat and like basically walked in, turned, looked at the first shelf and I'm like, okay, what will work? And I'm like, this there was three skeins sitting on top of a tote. And I'm like, okay, this one will do. So we're going to go with something nice and bright and fun. So there we go. Oh, anyways, so this will be started soonish. Stay tuned for that one. And I think that's about it. I mean, really, the little bit of time that I had, I worked most of it on my sock and crocheted some squares and finished my cowl. Yeah. I mean, I would have been a little bit further if I didn't finish the brioche cowl, but sometimes you can only work on a project for so long. And I really wanted to get that one finished because I'm really trying hard to keep my cast ons and my cast offs somewhat even this year. Trying super hard. My Ravelry pages, I did not put this hat in. So, but they're pretty much all caught up. Yeah, and my whiteboard is caught up. Things this year, this is the year for all the things to get knit and finished and everything. This may be the year for everything except Sock Madness, but you know, sometimes something has to give. Anyways, I'm just gonna take a peek, and Louise, can I read your last comment? Okay, yes, I was just gonna say, "Oh, son, how are you?" "Yay for granny squares," Jocelyn says. Yes, sweater pockets. That's right, I was gonna use those too for sweater pockets, and then now I've gone and made a few more, so who knows, maybe they will actually be a pillow or something. Yeah, lots of fun. I've got too many now. That's right, too. Go figure. Oh, those squares look great. Thanks, Susie. Hi, Sherry. I'm doing great. I would have to agree. I would say so too. I'm super happy. Oh, yes, Jocelyn. Okay, so Jocelyn says, now that I have mastered that square, maybe write out and master another square that you like. There was one that had some cluster stitches in it that I really, really liked. So yes, I may just do that. And then I could do 4, 5, 6 of those. And then go back to the plain granny square one because if I don't keep doing it, I will forget it. Even though now I think I've done enough of them that even if I forgot once I got started, it would come back, I think. But I think I still want to like stacking things, right? Like I've got the basic one done, so now I could move on to the one that had the clusters, do a bunch of those, but then go back and do some basics, do some more clusters, then add a third one in, do a bunch of it, and then go back and do the other ones just to keep them so I don't forget. So much fun. All right, you guys. Well, it is 9 o'clock. Our hour has come to a close, and I think that is it. A finish, crocheted squares, a somewhat good start on my Sock Madness sock. So, overall, it's been a good knitting week, and no matter what, the amount that you get done that doesn't make it a good knitting week or not, right? It's just if you've got some time, you make the most of whatever time you've got, and however much you get done, and the rest just carries on to the next week, right? So, I am excited. I've got lots to work on this week. I have got the new project. I have got more crocheted squares. Yeah, there's gonna be lots and lots of fun things. And I'm working on something else, but maybe I will talk about that next Monday. So, everybody, have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for voting for the hood. I'm going to have to go looking for some yarn. It was DK yarn. It was DK weight, wasn't it? That means I got to look here. Ooh, I just had an idea. Okay, I will share that with you next week. I will see. So anyways, everybody have a fantastic week. Happy knitting, crocheting, spinning, weaving, whatever your crafting project is. If you guys are in sock madness, if anybody is still working on their qualifying sock, I am sending you speedy knitting vibes to get it done quick and get qualified. And if anybody else is out there trying to be a cheerleader, we can be cheerleaders together. All right, everybody. Thanks for voting. Have a great week. Happy knitting. See you all next week with another update. And we'll see where I am with Sock Madness. Have a fantastic week, everybody. Thanks for voting. Thanks for watching. And I will see you next week.